Hey guys, this is Dustin. Hopefully this thing is recording. Hey, look, I think it is. Alright, so it's an interesting question that I got on Real GM on the player comparison, and I thought, what the heck, this will be a fun one to work with. So the question was, who was the most dominant player relative to their competition they played against since the NBA started? And we go in with some caveats here, but more or less, we're asking for the most dominant player, top 5 dominant players of any era. So obviously there's some subjective ways of looking at this, qualitative, but today I'm just purely going to use Excel and look at it from a quantitative standpoint. Alright, so my view is, since we're going back to the beginning, we're going to want to look at win share. It's probably our best, it's probably the best data we have. So that's my quick and dirty take on that. So what I'm doing right now, I'm bringing over each year of the NBA since the beginning, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring that all over, removing dupes, getting uniques. I don't have 2016 data in here yet, and I don't necessarily want it. Alright, and now what I'm doing is I'm going to look for 2 players from each year, and we're going to find out what their win share was. So, I usually would build this before I go in and start recording. I didn't do it this time. So, we're going to see if I can do this correctly. Alright, so we're going to use large, which just gives us the largest value in a set. Doubt there's going to be a duplicate here, but we'll find out. Alright, and we also need to have the largest player, given it's the year that we're looking at. Alright, and of course, there is my cursor. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and select win share. So just make sure my table of references are correct. They both use all. I always like to use the header, just makes my life easier. Alright, so we're going to say large if year in the table equals A2, which is where we have our list. Then we want win share. Perfect. Alright, that should, let's see here, array. It's right here, comma, go back here, and we're going to select our 1. This is the largest, that's why I've got it there. And we want to lock that in, close parenthesis, Control Shift Enter, copy paste. What happened here? Guys, I didn't lock in the year, so let's go back to this. A2, we want A locked. Here we go. Alright, so it's working, and then here's going to be our difference. Okay. Calculate that. Alright, let's just bring our formula down. I have automatic formulas turned off, guys. The sheet's gotten a little large. I need to remove some stuff from it. Alright. And we're going to find out the largest difference. Interestingly, here it's 1949, 1972, 68. Definitely dominate. Oh, here's 2004. That's interesting. And now let's actually add the player. Sorry. Alright, so now we know the value. Now we just need to find the player. So we're going to use our wonderful index. And here we go. Oh, you know what? This is going to be a more complicated lookup than I was thinking. We are going to need that year that we calculated earlier. Alright, index. Match. I believe I'm going to have to use an array. So we're going to say match. We're going to look for the value 1. We're going to turn this into a mathematical expression. Double negative signs. And we're going to say year equals, and we already know it's A2. I don't need to worry about the absolute references or anything like that because we're not going to do anything. We're not going to multiply this, so all we're doing here, double negatives, parentheses equals A2, player year. That's just going to turn it into a series of ones and zeros. Easy enough. And of course, if you multiply 1 by 0, you get 0. We're looking for the only case in this entire series of arrays that matches our value. So here we are going to then want win share. Alright. So win share is over here. And there we go. Win share equals, I don't remember the location. Alright. I never want to have this extra stuff here when it's on the current sheet. That'll mess with you sometimes. Excellent. Alright. We know we want a 0 there. And then for our index, we know we want the first column. So 1. As you see, NA there. Control Shift Enter. And we still have a problem. Oh, goodness. And you know what happened? I put player here. I don't care about player. I am completely a fool. I want the 20 win share, which is the value we're trying to find. Not a surprise, it's George Mikan. Bring it down, update the sheet. And not a real shocker here, guys. We get pretty much who you would expect to see. George Mikan, Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, George Mikan. Didn't expect to see Bob McAdoo show up there, or Kevin Garnett, 2004. Always a well thought of season. More Kareem, more Wilt. There's Mike, as you'd expect. More Wilt. 2002 Tim Duncan, somewhat forgotten because of the less than. Well, I'd still say he played stellar in the playoffs, but they didn't win the title. More Wilt, more Kareem, more Mike. Neil Johnson, there's a player you don't hear much about. David Robinson, another statistics box score superstar. We've got 2000 Shaq, what you'd expect. I'm going to add another column here. This will be rank. And just so we have it, Excel does a wonderful job for us, but I want more. Alright guys, well, and for whatever it's worth, let's take the top 25 as my cutoff. Alright, there's my list, the top 25 guys. Remove, you know, I thought I removed duplicates. Alt, A, M, tab, okay, here we go. And I just want to see how many times these guys show up. So count ifs. Again, I'm just going to go for top 25. Lock that in. Actually lock it in this time. Okay. And I want to say player counts. We're going to sort them. And there you go, guys. Wilt Chamberlain comes in number 1. Kareem number 2. George Mikan and Michael Jordan are tied for 3rd. McAdoo, Garnett, Duncan, Neil Johnson, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kevin Durant all come in on the list. And just for the fun of it, let's just change this formula here. We're going to make it a SUMIFS. And the only change here, we're going to want to select our difference. And I just want to see how much more dominant they were. Pretty quick and easy. Shift 9. I have done something wrong here. Oh. My reference didn't get fully correctly done here. Let's see if that gets us right. Boom, boom, boom. And there we go. And now let's sort this. I don't know if we're going to get, there we go. So McAdoo is, I'm going to basically say here, is the most dominant of the one-time count in this list. Obviously an arbitrary list, 25 being the cutoff. whatever. That just was a quick and dirty number to use. But anyway, guys, there you go. By win share, dominance over your opponents in the current year. Most dominant player ever, George Mikan. Wilt Chamberlain, 7 times, was in the top 25 of that list. The one guy who I think gets a lot of credit, who doesn't show up here, would be Bill Russell. And out of curiosity, Bill Russell does not make our list at all. He was never the top win share guy in a season. So there you have it. Thanks, guys, and you have a great one. Bye.